My parents are throwing their 40th anniversary bash in my award-winning garden on my birthday, a day they always forget. Hey Reddit, so I'm Alan, 32, and the forgotten middle child of the Sterling family. My older sister Bethany is the golden child, married to some hotshot lawyer. Younger brother Cody, the spoiled brat who still gets a weekly allowance from mom and dad. Me, I'm just there. Expected to be independent and conveniently ignored. They've always treated me like I'm an afterthought, but this is a whole new level of messed up. They're actually using my backyard, the one I painstakingly designed and maintain, for their party. And get this, it's on my birthday. The birthday they never remember. Should I just let them walk all over me again? I'm not sure I can. You guys won't believe what happened next. It was a Tuesday, and I was finally getting around to planting those new hydrangeas I'd been eyeing. My phone buzzed. Mom. Honey, we're so excited. Mark and I are planning our 40th anniversary party for April 12th. Your garden would be the perfect venue. My stomach dropped. April 12th. My birthday. I felt that familiar prickle of annoyance, the one that always accompanies their casual disregard for my existence. I tried to be casual. Oh really? April 12th. Let me check my calendar, I'll get back to you. I thought maybe, just maybe, this time they'd catch the hint. Later that evening, the whole family was over for dinner. Bethany, Cody, the whole gang. Dad brought it up again, all smiles. Alan, about the party. Before I could even open my mouth, Mom chimed in. Oh, it'll be wonderful. We can even sing happy birthday to Alan during the party. She said it so flippantly, like it was some afterthought, some tiny concession for completely erasing my day. I felt a wave of nausea wash over me. My own mother. They were all laughing and discussing seating arrangements, completely oblivious to the fact that they were planning their celebration on my birthday. Again. It was then, as Cody casually reached for another slice of Mom's famous apple pie, the one she never makes for me, by the way, that I saw it. Lying on the coffee table, amidst the scattered party planning brochures, was the invitation mock-up. Embossed, elegant, and clearly stating, Mark and Carol Sterling request the pleasure of your company as they celebrate 40 years of marriage. April 12th. No mention of me. No acknowledgement of my birthday. Just a THEM. My chest tightened. I couldn't breathe. It wasn't just the birthday, not anymore. It was the blatant, unapologetic erasure of my existence. I felt like I was going to be sick. I excused myself and practically ran to the bathroom, the image of that invitation seared into my mind. I splashed cold water on my face, staring at my reflection. Who was I to them? A ghost? A convenient gardener? The forgotten son. When I came back, they were still talking about the party. Bethany, ever the perfect daughter, was gushing about how wonderful it would be. Cody was complaining about the color scheme. Nobody even noticed I'd been gone. I stood there silently, a knot forming in my stomach. This wasn't just forgetfulness. This was a betrayal, a clear message that I simply didn't matter. I tried. I really, really tried to be reasonable. I went back into the living room, heart pounding, and said as calmly as I could, Mom, Dad, about the 12th, it's my birthday. My mom waved her hand dismissively. Oh honey, we know, we'll sing happy birthday, it'll be fun. Fun. They were going to cram my entire existence into a 2-minute song sung between champagne toasts and anniversary speeches. My voice started to shake. No, you don't understand. It's not about the song. It's about the fact that you're planning your entire party on my birthday, again. Bethany rolled her eyes. Oh, come on, Alan, don't be such a drama queen, it's their 40th anniversary, it's a big deal. A big deal, bigger than my actual existence. My hands were shaking now. So my birthday is not a big deal? I asked, my voice rising. Cody scoffed. Dude, it's just a birthday, get over it. Just a birthday. Coming from the guy who gets a goddamn party every time he manages to tie his shoes. Just a birthday, I repeated, feeling my face flush. You get a party every year, Bethany gets showered with gifts, but my birthday is just a birthday. My dad finally chimed in, his voice laced with impatience. Alan, don't start this again. We're celebrating our anniversary. Your mother and I have been married for 40 years. That's a significant milestone. Significant. That word echoed in my ears. Significant for them. But my birthday, insignificant, invisible, like me. I pointed at the invitation on the table. You didn't even put my name on the invitation, it's like I don't even exist. My mom sighed dramatically. Oh, Alan, you're being ridiculous. We're family, we'll all be together. What's the big deal? That's when it hit me. This wasn't normal. This wasn't just a family squabble. This was years, decades, of being disregarded, minimized, and erased, culminating in this one moment. They didn't see me. They didn't hear me, and they never would. I felt a strange calmness wash over me, replaced by a cold, hard anger. I picked up the invitation and ripped it in half. "The party," I said, my voice shaking with barely controlled rage, "is not happening. Not in my garden. Not on my birthday." My mom gasped. Bethany shrieked, "Are you crazy?" Cody just stared at me, his mouth agape. My dad's face turned purple. "Alan," he growled, "you wouldn't dare." "Oh," I said, looking him dead in the eye, "I would, and I did. A week later, and things have gone nuclear. They're not just ignoring me now, they're actively trying to destroy me. I should have known they wouldn't take my refusal lying down. This family. They don't understand the word no, especially when it comes from the invisible middle child. First, the phone calls started. Non-stop. Mom, Dad, Bethany, even Cody, which is a miracle, considering he usually only communicates through grunts and Instagram stories. Each call was the same: guilt trips, accusations of selfishness, veiled threats about disappointing the family. "Alan, how could you?" Mom sobbed. "Your father is so upset. This is supposed to be a special occasion." Bethany chimed in with, "You're ruining everything. Think of Mom and Dad." Even Cody managed a "Dude, seriously, what's your problem?" "My problem. And my problem is that you all treat me like I don't exist except when you need something from me." Then came the flying monkeys. Aunts, uncles, cousins I haven't spoken to in years, all suddenly concerned about my behavior. Aunt Mildred, who I'm pretty sure thinks I'm Bethany's husband, called to tell me I was being unreasonable and selfish. Uncle Gary, who I've met maybe twice in my life, left a voicemail suggesting I needed therapy. Seriously, therapy? I'm not the one who needs therapy, it's this entire dysfunctional family. But the real kicker, the Facebook post. Bethany, the social media queen, posted a long, sappy message about how disappointed she was in me, how I was ruining her parents' anniversary, and how I was clearly going through something. She even included a picture of our family from when we were kids, conveniently cropping me out. Cropped, me, out, the audacity. The comments section is a dumpster fire of family members piling on, calling me ungrateful, selfish, and a disgrace. Public humiliation. They're actually trying to publicly shame me into submission. Are you kidding me? I'm a wreck. I can't sleep. I can't eat. I'm constantly checking my phone, bracing myself for the next wave of attacks. Work is a blur. I snapped at my boss yesterday, which is so not like me. I feel like I'm losing my mind. But you know what? Through all the anger and hurt, there's also this clarity. A realization that I can't keep living like this. I can't keep letting them walk all over me. This isn't just about a birthday anymore, it's about my entire life. It's about finally having a voice, it's about demanding to be seen. And I'm not backing down. Not this time. I need to figure out what to do next. This can't continue. They've crossed a line, they've declared war. And now I'm ready to fight back, so I was a mess. Totally wrecked. Couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, just doom scrolling through Facebook, watching my family publicly crucify me. I needed to talk to someone, anyone who wasn't part of this circus. Aunt Susan, my mom's sister, has always been the odd one out. Kind of the black sheep, always questioning my parents' weird hierarchy. I don't talk to her much, but I figured, what the hell, I called her up, hesitant at first. "Hey Aunt Susan, it's Alan. Things are kinda crazy right now." She was quiet for a second. "I heard Bethany's Facebook post, right?" I cringed. "Yeah, it's a lot." So I started explaining everything, stumbling over my words, still unsure if I was overreacting. I told her about the anniversary party, the birthday, the years of being overlooked, the invitations, the phone calls, the flying MONKYS, the whole 9 yards. I even told her about the ripped invitation, how I finally snapped. I fully expected her to tell me I was being dramatic, that I should just apologize and let them have their stupid party. But she didn't. She was silent for a long moment, and then she said, her voice low and serious, "Alan, honey, I am so angry for you. I've seen how they treat you, how they've always treated you. It's not right." I almost started crying. Someone finally saw it. Someone finally acknowledged the years of hurt, the constant feeling of being invisible. "They've been doing this to you your whole life," she continued. "Ignoring your birthday, prioritizing Bethany and Cody, it's disgusting. And that Facebook post, that's just cruel." Hearing her say those words, hearing someone validate my feelings, it was like a dam broke inside me. I actually started to cry. Not just a few tears, but full-on sobbing. Years of suppressed anger and hurt just poured out. When I finally calmed down, she said something that completely changed my perspective. "Alan," she said, her voice gentle, "you are not overreacting. You have every right to be angry, they've treated you terribly. And you know what? You deserve better." Deserve better. Those 3 words resonated with me deep down. I had spent so long internalizing their narrative, believing that I was being selfish, that I was the problem. But Aunt Susan's words, they were like a lifeline. She gave me permission to feel my own feelings, to acknowledge my own pain. It was a turning point. You don't owe them anything, she added. You don't have to apologize for setting boundaries. You have a right to protect yourself from their toxicity. Toxicity. Another word that hit hard. I had never thought of my family as toxic, but wasn't that exactly what they were, poisoning me with their constant neglect and emotional manipulation? After talking to Aunt Susan, I felt different, stronger, like I finally had the right to stand up for myself. I wasn't the crazy one. They were, and I wasn't going to let them win. Not this time, not ever again. The doorbell rang. I just knew. It was them. The whole damn Sterling clan. A week of relentless phone calls, guilt trips, and public shaming hadn't broken me, so they decided to bring the war to my doorstep. I opened the door to a wall of Sterlings. Mom, Dad, Bethany, Cody, even Aunt Mildred and Uncle Gary the flying monkeys themselves. They all wore these sickly sweet smiles, like they hadn't spent the last week trying to destroy my reputation online. The air crackled with tension. Alan, honey, Mom started, her voice dripping with fake concern. We need to talk. About what? I asked, my voice flat. About the party, Dad said, his tone sharper. We need to set things up, it's tomorrow. The party, I repeated. That's happening on my birthday, the birthday you all conveniently forgot again. Bethany rolled her eyes. Oh, here we go again. Alan, just get over it, it's one day. One day, my birthday, reduced to an insignificant blip in their anniversary celebration. It's not just one day, I said, my voice starting to rise. It's every day. It's a lifetime of being ignored, overlooked, and treated like I don't matter. Cody, who had been silently picking at his fingernails, finally chimed in. Dude, seriously, just let them have the party. What's the big deal? The big deal, I practically yelled, is that you all treat me like I'm the problem when you're the ones who can't even remember my birthday. Mom started to cry. Classic manipulation tactic. Alan, please, don't do this. Your father is so stressed. Stress. I was the one who was stressed. I was the one who had been publicly humiliated, emotionally abused, and completely disregarded by my own family. They started pushing past me, trying to get into the house. We need to get the decorations in, Mom said, shoving me aside. Get out, I said, my voice shaking with rage. Alan, Dad barked. Don't be ridiculous. And then Bethany, with a flick of her perfectly manicured hand and a condescending smirk, uttered the words that broke me. The words that shattered any remaining doubt, any lingering guilt, the final straw. It's their 40th anniversary, for God's sake. Their 40th anniversary, for God's sake. Like my existence, my feelings, my entire being was somehow less significant than their milestone. Like my birthday, my very right to exist was an inconvenience. Something inside me snapped. A white-hot rage coursed through my veins. My hands clenched into fists. My chest tightened. I felt like I was going to explode. Years of suppressed anger, years of being the quiet, compliant middle child, vanished in that instant. I was done. Get out, I roared, my voice echoing through the neighborhood. All of you, get out of MY house, get off MY property, and don't come back until you're ready to treat me like family. My voice cracked on the last word, family, a word that suddenly tasted like ash in my mouth. They stared at me, stunned into silence. The fake smiles were gone, replaced by expressions of shock and disbelief. I didn't care. I had finally found my voice. I had finally drawn a line in the sand, and I wasn't backing down, not anymore. The party, it could rot in hell. I was done being the forgotten bloom. I was ready to reclaim my life. I needed to prepare. This wasn't over. This was just the beginning. Okay, Reddit, buckle up. This is where things get interesting. After I kicked them all out, I knew this was war. I knew they wouldn't just slink away and re-evaluate their behavior. LOL, wishful thinking, right? I needed a plan. A goddamn battle strategy. First, I needed evidence. Proof that I wasn't some oversensitive crybaby making a mountain out of a molehill. I went up to the attic, the dusty repository of forgotten memories, and dug through boxes until I found what I was looking for. A pathetically small stack of birthday cards from my family over the past decade. 10 years, a handful of cards, some signed with just love, Mom and Dad. Cody's contributions were usually gift receipts for video games he wanted. Bethany's generic Hallmark cards with pre-written messages. Jackpot. This little pile of sadness was my ammunition, visual proof of their utter disregard. Then I thought, what about the online shaming? I needed to document that crap, screenshots, all of them. Bethany's passive-aggressive Facebook post, the comments from the flying monkeys, the whole disgusting mess. Preserved for posterity, just in case. Evidence, people, it's everything. Next, strategy. I couldn't just yell and scream, though believe me, I wanted to. I needed to be calm, rational, present the facts. Lay out my case like a damn lawyer, take that, Bethany and your hotshot husband. I even wrote down some key points. Years of forgotten birthdays, the blatant favoritism, the anniversary party fiasco, the public humiliation. I practiced saying it out loud, focusing on keeping my voice steady, controlled. I needed to be the adult in the room, even if they acted like children. Support. Well, Aunt Susan was my rock. I called her, told her about my plan, and she was all in. Alan, honey, she said, I'm so proud of you. You're finally standing up for yourself. I'll be there if you need me. Having her in my corner, knowing I wasn't alone in this, gave me the strength I needed to face them, mentally and emotionally. That was the hardest part. I was terrified, petrified of their reaction, of their anger, of the potential fallout. But I also knew I couldn't keep living like this. I deserved better. I repeated that to myself over and over like a mantra. I deserve better, I deserve better. I visualized the confrontation, pictured myself staying calm, staying strong, speaking my truth. I knew it was going to be brutal, but I was ready. As ready as I'd ever be. The stage was set. The battle lines were drawn. I had my evidence. I had my strategy, I had my support, and I had my newfound determination. They wanted a war? Fine. Let's do this. They came back. Of course they did. Figured they'd wear me down. The doorbell rang barely an hour after they'd stormed off. I took a deep breath, grabbed the shoebox filled with my pathetic collection of birthday cards, and opened the door. The entire Sterling clan stood there, faces grim. Mom's eyes were red-rimmed, Dad looked like he was about to explode, Bethany radiated icy disapproval, and Cody looked bored. Alan, Mom began, her voice trembling, we need to talk. I agree, I said, holding up the shoebox. Let's talk. I gestured for them to come in. They filed into the living room, the tension thick enough to cut with a knife. I set the shoebox on the coffee table. This, I said, meeting each of their gazes, is every birthday card you've given me in the last 10 years. I opened the box. The silence was deafening. Mom sniffled. Alan, that's not fair. Fair, I repeated, my voice rising. You think this is fair? You think forgetting my birthday, year after year, is fair? Dad cleared his throat. We've been busy, I scoffed. Busy planning elaborate parties for Bethany and Cody, busy showering them with gifts and attention. Bethany crossed her arms. Don't be dramatic, Alan. Dramatic, I snapped. You posted about me on Facebook, Bethany. You publicly humiliated me. You called me selfish for not letting you throw a party in my garden on my birthday. Cody, surprisingly, spoke up. Dude, chill, it's just a birthday. Just a birthday? I looked at him, incredulous. You get a party every single year, Cody. You get gifts, you get attention. But my birthday, it's just a birthday. I pulled out a handful of cards from the box. Look at these, I said, my voice shaking with anger. Generic cards. Some barely even signed. You couldn't even be bothered to write a personal message. Mom started to cry again. Alan, please, we love you, do you? I challenged, my voice raw with pain. Because it doesn't feel like love, it feels like neglect, it feels like I don't even exist. This is where things shifted. I could see it in their eyes, the shock, the realization that I wasn't backing down, that I wasn't going to be silenced anymore. I took a deep breath and said slowly, deliberately, I'm done. I'm done being the forgotten child. I'm done being treated like I don't matter. I'm done being your emotional punching bag. My voice rose to a near shout. You want to treat me like I don't exist? Fine. Then I won't exist for you. Get out. All of you. Get out of my house and don't come back until you're ready to treat me like family. The silence that followed was heavy, charged with a new kind of tension. The power dynamic had shifted. They were speechless. I had finally spoken my truth. They left, silently, defeated. I closed the door behind them, leaning against it, my whole body shaking. I had done it. I had finally stood up for myself. And it felt amazing. Like a weight had been lifted. Like I could finally breathe again. This was just the beginning. I knew there would be fallout. I knew they wouldn't just magically change overnight. But for the first time in my life, I felt a sense of hope. Hope that maybe, just maybe, things could finally be different. I deserved better. And I wasn't going to settle for anything less. It's been 6 months since the great Sterling family blow-up, that's what I'm calling it now. The immediate aftermath, chaos. My inbox exploded with messages from extended family. So much disappointment and concern for my parents. Bethany blocked me on everything. Cody sent a single text, Seriously, dude, my parents, radio silence for a week. Then came the awkward phone calls. Alan, we're worried about you. Honey, we didn't mean to hurt you. Empty words. Decades of neglect can't be erased with a few apologies. So where do things stand now? Complicated. My parents are making an effort, I'll give them that. They remember my birthday now, overkill actually. Flowers, gifts, the works. They call more often. It's weird, forced, like they're following a script. Bethany and Cody, still distant. Bethany occasionally sends a curt text, usually about family obligations. Cody, nothing. I've accepted that some relationships are just too toxic to salvage. And honestly, I'm okay with that. I've learned that family isn't just about blood, it's about respect, support, and genuine love. I'm building my own family, one based on those values. I've reconnected with Aunt Susan and we're closer than ever. I've also made some amazing new friends who actually see me, who value me for who I am. The biggest change, me. I'm not the same person I was 6 months ago. I'm stronger, more confident. I've learned to set boundaries, to prioritize my own well-being. I've realized that my feelings are valid, that I deserve to be treated with respect. I'm no longer the forgotten bloom, wilting in the shadows. I'm finally blossoming on my own terms. This whole experience, as painful as it was, has been a huge wake-up call. It's taught me the importance of self-worth, the power of setting boundaries, and the freedom that comes with letting go of toxic relationships. So, Reddit, what do you think? Have you ever had to cut ties with family? How did you handle it? Any advice for navigating this messy, complicated world of family dynamics?